Uh, Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Tune. I just picked up my phone because it zapped, and of course, it like sucked me in with four different messages on there. Welcome to today's Daily Tune, and this is getting so exciting on within me. I'm just kind of amazed with what's happening, and I'm hoping that I can I can put it into words as we go through these 90 days, but the deeper that I go into it and the more that I tune into it, the more I see what's happening. And I really, really like it. We are getting a completely different reprogram on creating plot twists, creating changes in our lives, creating the next evolution, the creating the shift. Whenever we get to those points in our lives where we're like, I need something needs to shift here, we are getting the wisdom and the knowledge to do that using quantum mechanics, so that we are pivoting um, our consciousness, our awareness. We're pivoting our, there's another word that I want, we are pivoting our productiveness in consciousness towards a different program, using a different program, so that those shifts can occur in a way that is fully aligned with our soul timeline. So we are now basically being reprogrammed to to live by and on resonance with our soul timeline. Okay, so that's just a couple words. First, I have a couple of announcements, because I've added some things in the chat for us, for mostly for me to remember. So the first thing is, I had a supplemental video that I just uploaded to YouTube, and it's a supplemental video to I think it was yesterday's, where we talked about the plot twist. So what is that plot twist? And then the supplemental video really goes into the mechanics of it. And I have I kind of, it's called the anatomy of the plot twist. So it's going through what we're doing here. Really, this is the visual of what this 90 days it will be. And I think this is going to be revised quite a bit as we go through the 90 days. Not revised, but I think this will get deeper understandings of it. And so that supplemental video, I would highly, highly suggest going back and watching that after you watch today's daily tune in, because that's just going to add a little bit more meat to the plot twist idea, because that is the key. The plot twist is the key to the shift that we are going to be working on creating in our own individual lives, and the expression in which this shift is going to take place based on our souls, based on us remembering our soul's intention with us in this now moment. So when we start remembering that, because of this new programming, we'll start walking the timeline of our soul's evolution, and it will be more in flow. It'll be more in peace. And when those moments of dipping down come up, it's simply an easy process at that point, because we understand what's happening because of these quantum mechanics. Okay. So today, oh, hold on one second. The other thing is, somebody, one of our community members is, her name is Karen. She is making tapping videos. So if you're familiar with EF emotional freedom technique, the tapping process, we just did last month, I think it was, we did a tapping process in the Ascension Bank for our members. But Karen is doing a video, I think a video a day, to help us also anchor in all of the wisdom and the energy, the light that we learn on these daily tune-ins. So she's sharing those in the Telegram chat. So I put the Telegram chat link in here as well in the post, in the chat, so that you can pull that and also follow along with her tapping. Tapping is a really, really productive and weird. Like, I remember the first time seeing it, being like, what? I'm like tapping my beliefs and all this stuff. But as we're being reprogrammed, the tapping is going to help us unconsciously, subconsciously pull in these new programs and be more sustained by them, so that we're not sustained by the old programs, which we've been purging. Also tonight, or actually my tonight, but in a couple of hours, we also have the Ascension Bank members call. For those of you who are a member of the Ascension Bank, we're going to have our community call tonight. So I think we'll be kind of bouncing the what's happening here. We're going to be bouncing that around in our conversation. So a lot of this languaging and a lot of this awareness is probably going to be focused on, which I think is a really great thing because we can all get into a nice flow in how we're approaching these upgrades. And lastly, I just wanted to share really quickly about a couple of the things that I have seen. I'm going to get my notes because I had to start taking notes of how my storehouse is showing up in reality. And I'm going to share these simply because we opened up the storehouse, but because we're still not quite sure what all that really means, that spiritual storehouse of energy, there is a video on that. And so now we're watching, we're starting to become aware of how is the storehouse now how am I withdrawing from the storehouse, and how is the storehouse investing in me? And we always think of those terms in the form of money, but remember, we live in a world of energy. So the frequency at which we get paid in every given moment, the frequency can come in money, which is a form of currency, a form of frequency. It can come in the form of an encounter with someone that is just in resonance, and all of a sudden you meet someone and that person just happens to have an answer to a solution or has a lead on where you need to go next. That's like a karmic meeting. There's ways of getting paid in the way of sometimes we have to get humbled by life, right? So sometimes in that storehouse it's our karma. So if we have some denser karma in there, and that just is what we get paid in that moment, because that is what we have to, that is what a new lesson that we have to pull out some currency from, that lesson then has value. So sometimes we'll get paid in a karmic lesson where we have to just kind of get through a little bit of a discomfort in order to see the lesson and pull the value out of it. So that now the next thing maybe that comes out of that storehouse is a payment that opens our hearts, and we get to receive in an equal and resonant value to a higher expression of ourselves. So the storehouse is very mysterious at the moment with how it's paying out. So our next awareness has to be on how are we being paid? How is the storehouse coming into our realities so that we can start to understand how this 5D reality works of always being taken care of and always being in abundance. So the first thing that I wanted to share is yesterday I had the highest day of donations and support to the Daily Tune In and to this platform, which I was so I was so grateful. It was so exciting because I would go and just check my emails and kind of pull in, and it would say, like so and so left you a donation, and so and so bought you a couple coffees, and it added up to the highest day. And I was like so elated because I was like, oh my gosh, my storehouse opened up in the form of money, in the form of currency. That's the frequency that I matched in those moments, and it gave me a super joyful day. Then Bud had got a message on his Facebook page from a gentleman here who was like, "Hey, I have a gig for you for a day. Like, do you want to do do this job?" And Bud is like all about it. He doesn't want to commit to one job, but he wants all kinds of different things. So this opened up the door for him, and he went, and we had like a normal day where he went to work, and I did my work, and it was extremely joyful. When he got home, I was like, look at us being all normal. You going to your job and I'm here doing mine. And it like blew us up. Our whole hearts opened up as we kind of felt some form of normalcy, but that normalcy is actually elevated because it's the normalcy that we wanted to create. and create yet in our worlds, and doing work that we are passionate about, and doing work that we feel like it matters in the world. So that was a huge manifestation yesterday that showed up in our world, that realization of, oh my gosh, like you just went to work today and I did mine, and we had the most abundant day monetarily, and that was super exciting. And then my storehouse story is that today one of my a beautiful soul in Ukraine reached out and wants to come to Saranda here in a couple of weeks and spend some time immersing herself in the beautiful energy of Saranda of Albania, and kind of search her soul a little bit. She needs a little bit of some love and some air and different perspectives to start opening up to what her plot twist might be. So another beautiful example of how my own storehouse is opening is that now immersions are coming into my reality, and I have people coming into my space here so that we can have these deeper conversations. And I'm so grateful. So already our storehouses have been opened as of a couple of days. So I want to start to turn our awareness. We want to start to turn your awareness to, how is this showing up? Give me a second. Priya. Okay, the licking. So I'm going to read the message for today, and this is how we're going to create the manifestation. I don't even want to use that word anymore. The creation. This is how we are going to create viral abundance all through humanity. And what's happening here is this 90 days is also not only teaching us the quantum mechanics of creating a massive shift in our own world, but also globally for humanity. So everything we do here in consciousness is also affecting all of humanity. And now we are going to start showing humanity that this world exists and that these storehouses exist. These storehouses of abundance, karmic abundance, that will start to become our new way of being supported. But someone has to show the masses that this exists. And here's how we're going to do it. Hold on. Priya, please. Okay. Let's see. Seeing the magic of your storehouse being revealed in your life, in and unknowingly and unexpectedly showing up before you, your soul will be tickled with so much joy. Your heart must expand to handle that kind of energy surge. That energy surge then shoots into the physical being of you, so you may squeal with delight or weep in gratitude in receiving from your storehouse. You'll grab your phone to take a picture of this expansive moment in time. Ever so simply, you will then just revel in the consciousness of where you are when you took that picture. Okay, so just, you have a moment, you see something that your store in your physical reality, and you think, just like I did when I got that message from that beautiful soul in Ukraine who said, I need to get out of Ukraine, and I also want to do some soul searching. My heart went, oh my gosh. So in that moment, I take a picture, because I am now capsulating the energy of that moment, the consciousness of that moment in that picture. Okay. If you are willing to participate in this viral algorithm that we are creating, it is going to be a combination of bringing consciousness and technology together and social media together in order to start creating viral abundance using hashtags. Okay. So you're like, wait, what? Exactly. That's what I was doing. So bear with me here. Keep going. Like, I'm going to keep going with this, and we're going to piece it all together. That image that you took in that moment will be coded by the frequency of your expansion and your consciousness. There will be no explanation needed for your image, as viewers on social media will automatically receive the codes and the frequency from the image. And they are of the purest forms of energy in these beautiful, expansive moments. So basically what they're saying is, it doesn't go beyond the barriers of free will. If we give light and give love, that is a giving, a genuinely giving frequency. So these pictures that will show how our storehouses are showing up in our physical reality will be coded with the frequency of expansion of that moment. And in that moment that you take that picture, that's a screenshot of that moment, that now moment for you, that time in space when you expanded. Okay. And then, if you're willing, you then post it on your social media platforms. And it can be as simple as just putting the hashtag open the storehouse. Because what happens is, when a viewer sees your picture, even if there's no explanation, they're going to go look for one. And when they see open the storehouse, they may not know what that means, but what that actually is the activation of that intentional expansion, the coding in the expansion energy of your picture. It activates it in the individual. And that's how we spread this energetic through the energetic grid, and through, we're creating a brand new energetic algorithm that will lay on top of these platforms, the energy of these platforms. So we know the energy of most of these platforms, quite frankly, are built on a pretty dark and dense energy, right? On an energetic grid, because of the censorship and because of some of the things that we know now have been proven. It's no longer conspiracy theory. Majority of our big platforms, social media platforms, have fallen into the depths of some darkness and have remained there. So what we're doing then is using that platform to spread the light. So our light algorithm is programmed through consciousness, right? That's what we are about here. Consciousness is light. Light is consciousness. Light is knowledge. Light is wisdom. Light is our higher intelligence. And in that moment, when you notice in your world that all of a sudden your storehouse is opened and revealed itself in some way in your life, in your reality, you snap a picture. That moment in time and space is now part of the algorithm. It is now part of the physical world, and it is now coded with your expansion. When you post it on the overlying grid, so to speak, of these, it's not so to speak, but that's really what we're doing. We are now creating that 5D grid over top of the denser grids of these social media platforms, and using that grid as a way to create, through a hashtag tagging or hashtag trending, going through and creating a viral spread of all of the ways that we are abundant in this world. And all of that coding is going to be in the images that are shared. So this is how, as we know, now I want you to kind of take a step back, come up higher with me, come up higher into a higher expression. We know that everything has an equal and opposite expression. And we also know where we are in this world, and going down many, many rabbit holes over the last year and a half that many of us have gone through. We have uncovered quite a dark web a dark web of activity, of consciousness, a dark web of consciousness that has been operating behind the scenes, under the radar, to where it has spread the lower frequencies of fear. So knowing that everything has an equal and opposite expression, is it possible that we can now be over here in this community? We're over here in this time and space, where we are now doing the same thing under the guise of, just sharing our pictures, our personal life on social media, but knowing and being extremely intentional with those specific images, and with that hashtag, that we can be creating underneath, underneath what everybody's doing, or over top everyone, and just kind of sprinkling our little bits of light throughout this grid on these social media platforms? Is it possible that we could be doing the opposite expression of the work over here that's being done, that has been done? I believe so wholeheartedly that we are the ones that we've been waiting for, right? We are the ones that are here to create the actual movement of abundance in energetics through into the physical realities. But we've got to start showing people. So that means you have to be tapped into how your storehouse is starting to show up. And it's going to have to be that you expand your mind as to what that storehouse is and how it's delivered and how things come to you. How does your plot twist start to move in that direction? And as it does, you will start getting these breadcrumbs, because these breadcrumbs will show up in the form of synchronicities, in the form of abundance, in the form of, a free show, in the form of a gift, in the form of, a miracle. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, this is the storehouse. I'm just receiving from the storehouse. And you take a picture in that moment and you just post it, and you can put something on there if you like to write, if you want to be creative with your post, please do. And also please use that hashtag, because remember, the hashtag now from here on out in this purpose, and I think from the rest of our lives on social media, the hashtags become the activation. If we use hashtags with the intention that whatever I use in a hashtag activates the person that's looking at this in a higher level of consciousness, then all of our posts become an activation of light. And I've been playing with it. If you look at my posts on social media, I'm not using hashtags to show up a lot in a popular hashtag. I am literally saying higher, hashtag higher frequencies lead to hashtag higher consciousness, which then, so I'm literally affirming the programming through the hashtags to set the algorithm of my intention into motion on social media. This is how we covertly spread the consciousness of opening humanity's storehouse, so that they can start to receive the flow of the karmic good that has been hidden from them, because these processes, this wisdom it's been hidden. So we're opening it back up. We're opening up Pandora's box of the karmic storehouse, so we can see how deep that storehouse goes. And we are then going to be shocked when we understand how much is there to support us that hasn't been available to us because we didn't match it in frequency. But as we rise up, we're going to start seeing and resonating with more and more stuff in our karmic storehouse. And when we reach it in resonance, it then drips out into our physical reality in the form of money or abundance, or however you find it, or a beautiful symbol or a beautiful sign or a beautiful sunset, and it means something so great to you. It's the message you needed to hear. It opened up your consciousness in that moment, and you snap a picture, share it on Instagram, Telegram, Facebook, whatever, and hashtag open the storehouse. And that then leads every eyeball and every person who will ever come on that into the consciousness that their storehouse gets opened. This is a beautiful experiment. It's a beautiful experiment. And I know, yes, it might expand. You might like, well, I don't know. It's a stretch, but are you willing to stretch your mind into the possibility that this could be something, that it could be something that changes the world for the better, simply by just intending to look for stuff coming into your life, stuff and people and money and abundance and love and joy, and those mind-blowing moments, those heart-expanding moments, that those are going to be more and more happening more and more often. And when you're tuned into it and you start sharing them every single day, a couple times a day, with the hashtag that we are now coding with the consciousness of open the storehouse, so anyone who lays eyes on that or their energy around it, that their storehouse will be open, is, if that's a possibility, would you want to just try it? Like, it doesn't seem harmful to me, and it doesn't seem like anything that I would say no to. So this is the next part of this. As we go throughout these 90 days, your doing part. The doing part is simply just making it as easy as possible, but getting into some kind of action. And the action that you're being called for is simply just to be aware of how this storehouse is showing up for you. And if you're willing to go the bonus mile and post it with that hashtag and spread that over, the new algorithm of the consciousness algorithm of these social media platforms, if you're willing to do that, we might be able to do something pretty special in 90 days, because that's plenty of time to spread some viral abundance. That is our message for today. I'm going to stop there. I might have a couple, I might have another supplemental video coming. I'm not sure. There's something brewing back here. I just haven't really fully understood it yet. But there's a lot that's going on now. There's a lot of energy that's circulating. So pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention to there's a lot of movement now around us. So we've gotten things moving, right? And consciousness, our collective consciousness, is like, okay, receiving, 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 and then all of a sudden we're going to get a couple more weeks into it, and then it's going to be doing this, and then we're going to start to feel things organizing. We might kind of see hints here and there, and then we're going to go into, it's going to get faster, and you're going to maybe feel some anticipation as things start to speed up. And as you speed up, then we get to the next, the last part of these 90 days, where we start to see things coming into our reality. But we can invite that to happen sooner by looking for, how is my reality shifting in just 4 days of saying yes to this experiment? Because it's already happening, but it's subtle. It's so subtle. But remember, one subtle click or one subtle degree to a different course changes everything. And we are now changing course to line up in resonance with your plot twist, with your soul timeline. So as we're doing that, it's going to be a subtle shift, but it'll have huge, not consequence, but consequences in like a massive way. But you have to pay attention to what has shifted already for you. Start looking for it, start being aware of it, snap pictures if it's like a heart expanding moment, and share it with the hashtag open the storehouse. That hashtag is coded with the beautiful frequencies of abundance. Okay, this is how we do this in reality. And I think it's cool as anything. I think it's not anything like I expected. But while the other world plays itself out, those stories, we are playing out the storehouse stories right now. So when the dust settles a little bit and people start to kind of tune out of this and say, what's next? Like, where do I look now? All of a sudden they start noticing this hashtag. All of a sudden they start noticing their friends posting these beautiful images and saying, she didn't put any explanation, but just open the storehouse. What the hell does that mean? But the picture is like beautiful, because that an image that is taken in that moment of pure bliss, it always just looks a little bit different. It always just reads a little bit softer and a little bit more genuine and a little bit more truthful. So no matter how well the picture is, it's going to communicate the message. And you get enough people seeing your storehouse showing up and having that hashtag, and they click on that hashtag, and then they go to the hashtag and they see all of these pictures of these beautiful, energetic symbols of abundance in all different ways. And then they say, what is this? What's this thing? And somehow they end up back to you and say, what's this open the storehouse thing? And all you have to do is just, say, I'm doing this thing. We're testing it out. I have no idea if it's going to work, but it's kind of fun to try, because if it does work, it's the thing that could actually be the tipping point of us actually seeing 5D Earth pretty obviously in our world in 90 days. I don't know. Sounds pretty cool. Let's see what you guys have to say. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Thank you. Oh, yeah, for the EFT vids. Good morning. Open the storehouse. Love it. Yep. We're going to open humanity's storehouse. And then all of a sudden things are going to be showing up that they can just move out of fear because they're like, oh, my bank account is going dry, but I got this storehouse that seems to be showing up and I'm always supported. So I don't have to be in so much fear now. That would be pretty cool to be able to help create that for humanity. I've been so tired this week thinking it's the energies from this 90-day challenge. Oh, Jessica, that's a good point because I thought about that too. I had been bowled over, like it's been a really active couple of days, and energetically, obviously, from what we know is happening in the cosmos, but also now that there's going to be a lot given to us, a lot of light given to us in these 90 days, and we know that the more light we receive, it's going to have to flush out. It's going to keep flushing out the other karmic stuff, right? So new storehouse of information and abundance comes in. It's going to push out some of the old. It'll get easier and easier because we're not so dense now, but at the same time we have chosen change. If you hear and you're here and you put the I'm in on this invitation, you accepted it, that means energy at that moment shifted for you. So every day we are going to go a little bit higher and higher and higher and higher in frequency, because remember, your plot twist is at a much higher frequency. I don't know if it's much. It's at a higher frequency than where you are now. So every day we got to level up just a little bit more by accepting new messages that we understand and we put to use. And as we do that, we rise up. So this could be kind of a tiring 90 days, but we're in it for the long haul, because at the other end of it, it could be something, not could be, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be something that you are going to be quite pleased and celebrate not getting to, not accepting, but in creating. And if not, you are well on your way to creating something, and you feel it, you know it, you're at peace, and you feel like a warrior after these 90 days. So just know that we are shifting a lot of energy in a short amount of time, and it could be intense. Or is it open the storehouse? What did you put? Oh, I just put open the storehouse. Yeah, good question. Oh, I have opened the storehouse. Going on a hike today, going to use this to great extents. Awesome. I saw a video of you on Unified. Yeah, Renee. I did Unified asked me to do a 7-part series in transformation. I recorded it actually when I was in Ukraine, so it gave me some good old passionate work to do while I was there. But it's a really cool platform, Unified, y'all. If you haven't checked it out, it's a new social media platform. I am on it, and it's like Facebook, but kind of enlightened. Facebook has a lot of light workers on it, and also some really, really great shows and workshops, seminars. Bud and I have been watching their series called Hidden Revelations. That has been quite fascinating and quite interesting. So there's just a lot of really great stuff over there on Unified. So if you haven't been over there, I would suggest going there because it's pretty cool. So that was not a shameless, but it was a plug for Unified. I have no, I don't get anything from you going there, but I do suggest it. I do like that community a lot. Open the storehouse now. Yes, I'm ready. Me too. So there we are. There's our work to do today. Tune in. I mean, today and every day. This is our operating system now. So if we simply become unconsciously programmed to just look for the good, look for the storehouse, like go on autopilot to look for how abundance shows up and how the storehouse is open to you each day. Do you think that something could shift in a really big way for you? I think it could. So let's just become so virally aware of how beautiful things are showing up for us that it just becomes an unconscious behavior, and now we don't have to worry about it. That's just how we're programmed. Okay, good stuff happening here. A lot of good stuff. Drink lots of water. Allow yourself to absorb this. And if you can watch that supplemental video, it might be a lot because there's a lot going on here and there's a lot going on in that video energetically. So it could be too much. But when you get a chance, I think it's 17 minutes, but it does go through the anatomy of the quantum mechanics of what we're going through here. Okay. That is it. Thank you all so much. I will see you tomorrow on Friday's Daily Tune In. Have a good one.